Now, it's never really a time to celebrate when there are large scale layoffs. Many of the people that DC had fired yesterday afternoon were probably great people. But it's hard to not look back at some of the decisions DC has made over the years, in particular with their actual comic books, which I actually have a secondary story today on that, which is eye rollingly associated with this. It's hard to not point out that DC absolutely, in terms of their comic books, have suffered from the get woke, go broke itis. Certainly the lockdown and a overall trend away from buying paper comics has crippled the comic book industry. But many of the decisions made by mainstream comics, both DC and Marvel, have exacerbated that situation, flooding the shelves in local comic book shops with 100 different variant covers, flooding the shelves with ridiculous books that nobody wants to buy, having your artists out on Twitter arguing with your customers. These are all things that don't end well for a company. Sure, do I think we were going to be selling millions of paperback comic books in 2030? Probably not, all right? But there absolutely exists a market, one that's become self-sustained. Just on Indiegogo alone, millions of dollars a year in independent comic books are sold from artist to consumer directly. These people that are doing that are people that have a strong relationship with the customers they serve and don't spend all day on Twitter calling them garbage humans. Now, according to THR, the Hollywood Reporter, more than 600 people were fired yesterday, an absolute bloodbath as it was described by multiple employees. As was reported earlier, layoffs were announced throughout Warner Brothers today, as many as 600 people getting laid off. While we don't have all the names of DC staffers who were let go, confirmed two people have separately told me it's a bloodbath. Reports that a large number of senior staffers were let go, including many senior editorial marketing and administrative personnel. Among these we've heard are gone: our editor-in-chief, Bob Harris, senior vice president, publishing strategy and support, Hank Canals, VP Bobby Chase, editors Brian Cunningham, Mark Doyle, and Annie Carroy. The latter were key to the Black Label initiative that seemed to be making money, so it's a bit of a shock. In addition, VP of Marketing and Creative Services Jonah Weiland has been laid off, I'm told. Word of the layoffs first surfaced publicly in this tweet. Amid massive layoffs at Warner Brothers, I'm getting word of an absolute bloodbath at DC Comics. Bob Harris is apparently gone. So are editors Mark Doyle, Brian Cunningham, Andy. Jim Lee is still with the company, but no longer a publisher. DC Collectibles gone entirely. While Lee's position isn't clear to me yet, his new role may have been more of a creative one than a business one, so it could be a title change more in line with his skill set. But please bear in mind, these are just the names I've heard multiple times. Many other long-term, and I'm talking very long-term DC employees have also been let go, I'm hearing. Who's left besides Lee? Marie Javins, Michelle Wells, and Nancy Spears. Among the more prominent names, fans of Marie Javins, whom are many, will undoubtedly be happy to see her ascend in editorial, but not like this. Not like this. The end of DC Collectibles, if true, is huge and telling. While I'm not going to run any more names until I have complete concrete information, from everything I'm hearing, this is a huge and significant downsize of DC's publishing operations that will have a huge ripple effect across the entire comic book industry landscape. It's impossible to see this as anything but a huge sign of disinterest in the comics publishing business by AT&T, Warner Media, and the Global Brands division. While other Warner Brothers divisions also face severe layoffs, such as losing a huge swath of executive leadership at DC, is a lot more than just some layoffs. Among the other things, there is a horrible irony of timing. Only 2 weeks, Warner will hold the DC Fandome, a huge 24-hour Mega 24 immersive virtual fan experience. While a lot of DC freelancers were teased to be at the event, one can grimly picture the crew of surviving DC staffers trying to act happy for this event. While DC's film and media efforts are promoted and the comics, the lifeblood of the universe, are left behind. Business is business, but the ripples of the DC bloodbath are going to be felt for a while. We've reached out to DC for comment. I'm sure they won't say anything. Update: Diane Nelson, former president of DC, has posted the following. It's kind of how a lot of people are feeling right now. So many friends at Warner Brothers and DC. My heart hurts. I am truly sorry. Well, could it be, that DC was worried about putting out this crap? I mean, now, this is just a variant cover, okay? Just a variant cover. So it's not like DC dedicated a ton of time and resources to this. But you have DC Nation tweeting out and getting absolutely destroyed. 2.6 thousand comments to 1.9 thousand likes. Only one word for Woman 1984. One, Rooster Teeth. That should tell you a lot. Variant, cover by Robin Eisenberg. Rad. Want to see how rad it is? There you go. An out-of-shape, pear-shaped, small-chested, purple Wonder Woman. Awesome. Said nobody. This is the stuff that gets promoted on Twitter. Who's buying this variant cover for $4? Who's buying this book? Honestly. And Wonder Woman is a movie that made over $800 million. And Wonder Woman 1984 will likely make, well, I guess who knows. Had nothing been interrupted in the movie theater franchise world, I'm sure it would have made close to $1 billion. Wonder Woman is a beloved character, and outside of Gal Gadot's ridiculous Imagine video this past summer, she's relatively well liked in the community. She's a great actress. She definitely pulls off Wonder Woman very well. There's a deep and diverse universe that Wonder Woman can explore and can continue to explore and stand alone on her own. There's nothing but upward motility for the Wonder Woman franchise, but one wonders, when that's, you're spending time selling variant covers that are purposely designed to, I don't know, make people vomit. Why? This is what superheroes look like, and I don't care. This is how they should look. All right? This is how superheroes should look. They should be extraordinarily fit. They should have some sort of superpower, and their superpower isn't inclusion. Remember how Captain Planet was around and everyone made fun of the guy with heart? That's basically what these comic book people are trying to do with modern day superheroes. Like, remember, earth, fire, wind, water, heart? Like, what a oh no, here comes a robber. What have I got to do? Blast him with heart. Didn't work then. It's not work now. The majority of the staff of the streaming service DC Universe has been laid off, as has editor-in-chief Bob Harris and multiple other executives. Now, what does this mean for some of the shows in the DC Universe? Harley Quinn, their streaming service. Who knows? I mean, roughly 1/3 of DC's editorial ranks are being laid off, according to sources. Insiders also say the majority of the staff in the streaming service, DC Universe, has been laid off, a move that has been widely expected as Warner Media shifts the focus to new streaming service HBO Max. It's interesting that they couldn't absorb them into HBO Max, though. DC Universe was DOA as soon as AT&T merger happened, said one source. DC Universe launched in May 2018 and is home to live-action series such as Doom Patrol, Titans, and Stargirl, as well as animated offerings as Young Justice and Harley Quinn. Now, Harley Quinn appears to be well-liked by their fans. Stargirl is not bad. Some of these shows have now started to stream on HBO Max. Also a victim of the layoffs, DC Direct, the company's in-house merchandise and collectibles manufacturer. The division has been shuttered after 22 years. Another move that was rumored when Warner Brothers Consumer Products began taking a more active role in DC merchandising. Like, does this mean that all DC collectibles are going to be stopped being made? Well, no, that's not what it means. But it does mean that this is the end of an institution that clearly DC, like, some of these moves just make sense from a technological standpoint. You probably have a lot of redundancy between the team at HBO Max and the team at DC Universe. But it's curious why you couldn't have worked any of those people in. On top of that, when you're marketing absolute garbage like this, it's no wonder that your editorial staff gets completely lambasted and removed from their positions. I mean, who approved that? These changes represent prioritizing three different things. Number one, and this is via bounding into comics, a consumer orientation far more than wholesale orientation. Number two, going direct to consumer. And three, going global. Now, are they taking a look at what the comic book, both pros and amateurs have been able to do on Indiegogo and are thinking, well, we're just going to sell our books direct to consumer? Maybe, but it's not going to work if you're just selling them as one-off, paperbacks. You're going to have to add more value like those in the Indiegogo space have. Kilar was asked if the layoffs would be noted. He said, we're not talking about layoffs specifically. Obviously, there will be layoffs just given the nature of what we're doing right here. Well, it looks like those layoffs came sooner than expected for DC Comics and DC Universe. THR reports, we talked about all that. A separate report from Bleeding Cool Rich Johnson also detailed the number of others who were axed, including editors and, we know 1/3 of the editorial staff. Johnson added that Director of Publicity Michael Schelling and Vice President of Comic Book Specialty Newsstand Sales Jim Skolkowski also lost their jobs. While DC was significantly hit, THR also adds that insiders also say a majority of the staff of the streaming service DC Universe has been laid off, a move that has been widely expected as Warner Media shifts its focus to HBO Max. Layoffs have also hit DC Direct, according to THR's report. It's brutal. It's brutal. A lot of good people lost their job today because of decisions that get made when a mega corporation buys a mega corporation, and then another mega corporation buys them, and they lose touch with what the customers actually want, and they put out soulless product, and they flood the shelves, and they put out new superheroes that nobody wants, and they have employees publicly arguing with customers on Twitter. This is what happens when you're owned by someone that doesn't care, and it truly is a shame. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.